You probably think you know what I'm thinking, but you'll never find out whether you was correct or not because I'm not going to tell you. It's probably time I took Nigel off the ramp though, because I've got to give in. I've got to give in and admit that I can't quite get that middle section off because I can't get underneath the car well enough. Oh no, not good enough. Let's just have another go today. Another go. And then I'll ask if I can borrow the ramp next door so I can get properly underneath it. I've had to give up. I simply cannot get the swing on that. And you know what? I seem to have a little gap in my tools with the 15mm side of things. I thought it was 13mm and 10mm that get lost, but no. I've got a 15mm socket that's broken and a 15mm ring spanner, 12-sided, and then my aviation spanners, which are all rather good. And the 15mm missing from that. Speaking of exhausts though, there is another car in the yard that does have a slight exhaust problem. And I don't mean the 800, although guess what? Speaking of the 800, I received a little gift the other day for its exhaust, and I shall show you that in a bit. Anyway, that's mostly irrelevant, but what is relevant is the fact that the back box is blowing a bit. So there's a big difference between inspecting an exhaust and actually taking it off and replacing it, so I may as well just inspect it now. And look, it's there. I've just backed it in. Didn't film that part because well, getting wet and all that, decided not to bother. That didn't take long to find out. That's better. Line the carpets up underneath it so I can properly clamber under there. It snapped. Yep, that's definitely just a bit broken. What I can't see from here though is whether that is the midsection or the back box, and I won't be able to do unless I get properly underneath there and get myself drenched. I don't like exhausts. Exhausts, they don't beat me, but the trouble is I need to do them outside. Not having the proper facilities to do such a thing and then trying to do it in here. I mean, I've got room, I've got the width, but I haven't got the height. You know, that's not very tall, is it? And I haven't got the light either, although these lights are very good. They're up there, they're not on the floor, and that's where you need the light. Whilst you're underneath the car, you need to be properly underneath the car to change an exhaust. So doing it outside is it's not very nice, it's uncomfortable, and you get grit in your eyes and stuff like that, but at least you can do it. Inside, I don't even know why I started. So when it stops raining, I have 2 cars to do exhausts on. No, actually 3. When was the last time we had a proper Nigel video? Probably not that long ago. But when's the next one going to be? Well, the one after this or this one? If it's this one, then it's now. I have failed to replace the exhaust on this, but I succeeded in bodging it up. But today I'm a bit more determined, regardless of the rain, regardless of not having the correct 15mm socket. I'm going to do this today. That doesn't smell very nice. If you're anything like me, you won't be a particularly big fan of clambering underneath a car, because even a small car like this does happen to have quite a bit of a weight to it. But at the moment my choices seem to be either clambering underneath it like this or going outside and getting drenched. That didn't take long. In fact, about 4 seconds to realise that the 15mm socket I do have, of course being a 12-sided, is slipping. So I'm going to have to do the usual thing of nipping next door and seeing what I can borrow. On closer inspection, it seems that my budge job is still budging the job. In actual fact, the blow's coming from somewhere else. Ready for this? Look at that. That's ripped itself off of there. And that's why it's so noisy all of a sudden. That's quite a good hole, that. I wonder if I can budge that. More of a concern than the exhaust though is going to be doing something to future-proof the tub. It's all very, very solid, but if we have a closer look at just the back of the sill there, we can see it's a bit brown. And without some scrapey and some underseal now, that could cause a problem in a couple of years, but at least it is absolutely solid. While sourcing through some stuff, I found an old wind chime and I just hung it up. This one is inspired by dolphins and a plastic forklift truck. Nice, eh? As a matter of determination and not wanting to waste this fine Saturday, which currently isn't raining, but obviously we can't guarantee that's going to last, I shall now succeed in my quest to fix Nigel's exhaust. Whereas the past couple of times I've not been able to get the bolts undone, which is partly down to not having the man strength in quite the right area, and also down to rust, rounded bolts, and not the best 15mm spanner. I am going to resort to doing it the manly way. Just cut the things off. I've got a lockup full of bits of things. I'm bound to have some suitable bolts to replace them with. No, I want to go the other way, don't I? Yeah. There. What I need now is another piece of carpet. This and the angle grinder and goggles as well, of course. I'm not stupid. I may act stupid, but I'm not actually. Angle grinder, grinder. Why? 10. Thank you. Thank you so much for undoing yourself like that. The flappy thing there, that's good for getting rid of rust, isn't it? That's good. That's what I could do with on the underside of there. But it's some of it's very difficult to get to. Oh, it's a change of topic there, indeed. Hang on. I've got one there. I don't need to open these ones up. I've got the cutting disc. I've got the cutting disc just there. Right, thank you. Right, let's go back to my song. Angle grinder. It's not a very good song, but it's the best song I have just for the moment while I talk about the angle grinder. Now, goggles. I've had to wear these quite a bit in the past for various reasons. Even in my previous job, having to go on a site to deliver some cable, putting goggles on. Yeah, it was just standard part of the PPE that really didn't seem to make a great deal of sense. But often you find as well, you can't even see through them properly in the first place because they've gone like that. They don't really clean up. So how, for this, using an angle grinder, fair enough. But for walking onto a building site where there's obstacles everywhere, how is having your eyes covered up with something you can't see through a good thing? How? I need to be the other way round. I need to be that way around. I say, lying down on the floor with an angle grinder is never a particularly good thing anyway. Let's make that clear. Time for a break, because the difficulty I am having is actually access of, up we go, upside down there, is just getting, I've got one off, the other I can't quite get the right angle on. And as you can see, I've turned the ramp around on the other side there, which looks rather curious, so I can access the 2 bolts at the back. Yeah, that's right. And I need a break for a cup of tea. Gosh, I wish I had some food here. Finally done it. Quite grubby, and gosh, that was tough. Shouldn't be, should it? But it was. It was because it just was. I don't know why it shouldn't be, but it was. There are a variety of reasons why it was tough that I could tell you about, but I won't do. So there we go. 1 second-hand exhaust fitted. Question is, will I have tightened it up enough? Yes. That's much better. That's a real luxury actually, to have it sound like that instead of it being horrible and noisy. Seriously can't wait to start using this every day again. Not every day, it was never supposed to be every day, was it? It was just an occasional thing, a toy. I can't wait for this to be my toy again. I love it. I'll never get rid of Nigel, ever. This is my car. And you know it's it, obviously, but I'm just reiterating the pointless point. Time to go home. Time to go home. My way. To many people's opinion, I don't have any idea about what a nice car is, but to me, I do. I like old cars, I like these, as you know. But no matter how much I like an early 45 or a 600 or an R8, any of these things, nothing prepares for the joy of Nigel. And gosh, I'm wearing this thin, but the idea was supposed to be to put that car away for the winter. I can't do it. I just can't. I'm going to go back to using it next month again, aren't I? I just know I am.